Hey you guys, it's Toya and thank you for watching Toya J TV. Today I want to go over a few ways to for you to avoid your hair burning when you're getting a relaxer. Okay, I know I do relaxers all the time in my salon, and the first thing a lot of women will tell me is, I burn easy. I burn easy. Do you have any sensitive formula and blah 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 blah. And then I say no, and I'll go ahead and do the relaxer the way I normally do it. And then it's like, oh my God, I didn't burn at all. I can't believe it. This is the first time I didn't burn. Okay, so I'm going to tell you how I, you know, avoid my clients from burning. First, a couple of things that you as the client can do at home is, number one, do not scratch. Okay, if you scratch your hair right before, I would say try not to scratch it within 3 days of you getting a relaxer. It's hard, I would say a week, but I know it's very hard to not scratch your hair for a whole week. But if you can, within the 3 days that you're about to get a relaxer, do not scratch your hair, and that's because it can irritate the scalp, and depending on how hard you scratch your hair, you could possibly be scratching away some layers of skin. Not nothing that's really damaging to you if you were not getting a relaxer, but with you getting a relaxer and you're peeling away thin layers of your skin, then when you put that relaxer on, it's going to burn. Okay, so to avoid that, don't scratch your hair for at least 3 days before you're getting your relaxer. Also, to piggyback on that, number 2 is do not brush your hair. Okay, do not brush your hair, do not brush your edges, do not brush your hair at all. Again, I would say within a week of getting your relaxer, don't brush your hair, because brushing, especially if you use those hard bristle brushes, we call the black people brushes, which you use to get them edges, slick down. Even and the paddle brushes are included in that too. But if you use that, that's basically the same thing as scratching your scalp. Okay, it can peel away thin layers of your scalp, and that sounds very like ugh. But I mean, they're very thin layers, but it's exposing you to that chemical more, and then when you get the relaxer and it's on that freshly peeled back scalp, it's going to burn. So do not brush your hair and do not scratch your scalp. Okay, all right. Then also, when they get to the salon, what I try to do, this is number 3, base the scalp very well. That's using that base, going all around the edges, go all throughout the head, especially in areas where you're prone to burn, and make sure that that you have it on there. Now, the base is just a protective layer that it prolongs you from burning as fast. It does not stop you from burning altogether, because I've known women that get based and they still burn, but it does prolong it some, because it's creating a barrier in between your scalp and the relaxer. But the 4th and most important thing to do to avoid burning is to apply the relaxer correctly. That's why I always encourage people to not do their own relaxers at home. All right, because you do not know what you're doing, especially if you're not a hairstylist. You can't see what you're doing, especially in the back. So you don't know how close you're applying it, where your new growth stops, all of that. But with me, I typically, and you will want to refer to the actual blog post to see the picture, but I do not get relaxer on the scalp. I get very close to the scalp, but I'll get it on the hair. That is the key, to get it on the hair, and avoid getting it on the scalp as much as possible. That way you have time to not only get the relaxer in the hair, but you also have time to let it process, work it through, let it do its magic, and rinse it out, and voila, you have no burn. I've had so many people tell me that their scalp is sensitive, and then when I do their relaxer, it's like, oh my God, it didn't burn. It's not supposed to burn. A lot of people think it's supposed to burn, so they think, well, just leave it on there until it starts burning. No, that is not what you're supposed to be doing. It should not burn you at all. And if my clients tell me, oh, I'm burning, I immediately rinse it out, because you do not want scalp burn in your hair. All right, chemical burn, scalp burn, that is not like a prerequisite that your hair is straight enough. You know, your stylist should be professional enough to get it in your hair and get it out without it burning. Now, with that being said, I do know that there are a few women out there that do truly have a sensitivity to relaxers. I've had a couple of my own clients that I say, look, you probably just don't need to get the relaxer, period, because I mean, as soon as they're exposed to the chemical, there's an immediate reaction, whether it touches their scalp or not. I knew one girl in particular, she would itch so bad after she got the relaxer, and then, I mean, it's like she just could not, you just had to scratch her scalp so long after she got the relaxer, and it would turn red. And when she went to the doctor, I suggested that she go to the doctor. She went to the dermatologist and was tested, and she does have an allergy to the sodium hydroxide. Okay, so in that case, you just can't get another relaxer. But that's not the case with most people. Most people do not have an actual allergic reaction like that to relaxers, but you can develop one if you always are exposed to the relaxer, i.e., example, getting them too often and they're constantly on your scalp. You can develop, you know, a sensitivity to them. You may not have had it before, but over time you're like, you know, what's going on with me? Every time I get one now, it's different. Then you can develop one. That's why it's important to let a professional do it, and one that's going to do it correctly. All right, you guys, so those are my 4 tips on how to avoid your scalp burning and realizing that your scalp is not really sensitive to relaxers at all. Okay, so I hope this helps you all, and I want to thank you for watching Toya J TV. Remember to subscribe to the channel, and I will talk to you all later. Thank you all for watching. Bye bye.